All right, hello. Justin Timberlake, the DWI drinking, drunk driving, great drunk driver. Reminded me of the scene in Back to the Future where Marty smashes into the Assembly of Christ. We got the 88 on his t-shirt here. Live circuit, interesting. And we've got the sort of eclipse ring symbolism here. We've got a satellite, the moon symbolism, also the idea of live and live, and the circuit, the completion of a cycle. 88 right here. Wearing all black, like somebody, like mourning somebody, maybe. Anyway, this DWI, I believe it's actually probably might be a Madonna ritual connection thing. Okay, and it might be to do with her death, potentially. Probably won't happen, but remember I was talking about 622, and we'll get on to how that kind of links in with the date here, because if you recall, I just mentioned 617, well, a couple of days ago now, and I mentioned that we might see something on 617, okay, to do with a reference back to the 617 squadron of Dam Busters, right? Now, yeah, this isn't really a 617 reference, but while I was listening to the news story, so to speak, they did reference 617. They said he was out with friends on the 17th, and then in the midnight hour. This is important because midnight hour ties back to all of this. There's so many references to the midnight hour, and it's the switchover point, yeah, from the eve to the day of, or it's the switchover point from death to rebirth, death to life. The 12 o'clock hour. Okay, so we'll come on to this in a minute with this link with this song, but this all takes place, I think it was 17 minutes past 12 actually when he got, I think, arrested maybe, or pulled over. But anyway, what happens is, to cut a long story short, it's not really a 617, but it's a 618 reference, right? And 618 is obviously the same numerology as Madonna's birthday. So this is quite interesting that he gets pulled over on 618, on Madonna's birthday numbers, if you like. And I didn't mention it at the time, but yeah, I should have mentioned that. I mentioned the day before had the days of the year related back to Madonna's birthday, but I forgot to mention the other side of that, which was 618 was also would have referenced Madonna as well. Anyway, so it gets pulled over 618, right? And we had a nice little water reference with this because it was the harbour, Sag Harbour, was it Sag Harbour Police? Or SAG, I don't know how you say that, but anyway, they arrested him. So it was Harbour Police. So again, a nice little reference to a nice little water reference. Let's put it that way. Anyway, let me show you something now. I've got to play a little clip. Let me see if I can get this. Probably need to be about here. So right here. No, maybe here. Let me play a little clip of this and listen to the name of the police officer that's writing the report that's given, right?
Village Police Officer Michael Arkinson, per NBC.
Sag Harbour Village Police Officer Michael Harkinson. Michael Harkinson. Michael Arkinson, right? So if you put that in Google, what it wants to give you is Michael Parkinson. I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute. We've got this drunk driver reference making the final leap home, right? And now we've got a reference to Michael Parkinson, and the Michael with Parkinson's is Marty. It's Michael J. Fox. He has Parkinson's disease. So he's Michael with Parkinson's. And Michael Parkinson, I was like, oh, okay, I'll go have a quick look at Michael Parkinson, because, we're going down the rabbit hole here. And lo and behold, Michael Parkinson dies on 8/16. So now I'm thinking, well, this story is sounding very, very fabricated to me now, Um, I don't know. Reality does work in weird ways, and some of the synchronicities I have are crazy. So, maybe this is a real story, maybe it's a made up story, who the hell knows. But anyway, Michael Parkinson. If you're English, you'll know this character is. If you're not, well, let's just put it this way. He's a famous English, I'll just call him a presenter. Okay? Now, so there was this connection to Michael with the Parkinson's. And you just can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. Anyway, I just wanted to reference also Justin Timberlake's birthday, which is 131. And again, the prodigal son from Madonna's birthday is 131 days through to Christmas. So the idea of the prodigal son. Notice the age, 43. Notice our block past Maple was 43. Yeah. To get to, the sort of original 12th of June sort of date that I was looking at. And then we had this connection back with Billy Idol with his 2nd of July date with the two palindromic numbers, the 24,000 number and the 25,000 number. And then that, in turn, we found the middle point between those two, which is 622. So anyway, the 131, again, we're back to the future. Before I get completely sidetracked, again, the train going over the cliff. Again, that ties back to Madonna. I don't know how many times I've done that in previous videos, but that Paris train crash where the train goes over, the old steam train goes over I don't know, down onto the street basically. It's like it's going into the ravine. All Madonna numbers on that train. Obviously, train and gematria, that all ties to Madonna, to the Queen, or etc. And so, yeah, the 131 that's on the train in Back to the Future. Okay, that's the Black Pearl about to end. So again, this is kind of interesting with his birthday. And what is also interesting is that he did a song with Madonna, 4 minutes, right? And in the song, what's going on with I think it's like we've only got 4 minutes to save the world or something like that. So again, it's this idea of 4 minutes to midnight sort of thing, yeah. Which is kind of interesting with the switch over again, and again with the Adam and Eve date, with the Billy Idol thing of the 622 date now coming up, which was the 24 to the 20, the 24 to the 25. The idea of Eve and the day of Christmas Eve, and the rebirth of Billy Idol, the rebirth of man. Anyway, so 4 minutes. What's interesting about 4 minutes is from this date of 6/18. 4 days on is the 22nd. So this becomes very interesting with the idea of the 22nd potentially being the midnight hour for Madonna, and 4 minutes is that jump. Yeah, 4 days is that jump. So that's kind of interesting. What's also interesting is 4 minutes is 240 seconds. So we have this tie back to that palindromic number again, with the 24,042. So we have this kind of tie back with the first part of that number, 240. So again, it's super duper interesting. We've got the length, 404, the kill number, and we've got 310. Without me getting bogged down with 310, 310 ties back to the dollar bill, which in turn ties back to this year, because we're in a leap year. 311 ties into this number. to do with the dollar bill right here. And so 310 and 311 and 311. I don't know how many times I've seen 311 stuff now with Madonna. I mean, I know 131 with Justin's birthday. There is also a 311 numerology, but Billy Idol 311 numerology in the birthday, 311 song, the 311 man. Okay, and also with Ghost Town with the 311 with what's his face? Can't think of his name now. The oh, what is his name? I can't remember his name. But anyway, I want to say Terrence Howard. I don't know if that's right. Anyway, with the 1 times 1 is 2 nonsense, right? His birthday is, I want to say it's the 11th of March. So a lot of 311 references. That ties into the dollar bill as a number jump from 9/11 through to 187, which is the 18th of July coming up. Okay, and that 18th of July is, of course, numerology for Washington as well. Numerology, gematria for numbers for Washington. Anyway, so we got this 4 minutes connection, right? Oh my word! And I think I put 4 minutes in the Gematrinator. Yeah, I did. And look at the numbers here: 105, 33. 105 is to do with, again, from 9/11 through to Christmas is 105. So it's a reference to the birth of Christ. 33 again, death and resurrection of Christ. Here's this 92 or 29, which again, if you go to the chart of Lorraine, this number here, which is actually a reference to the White Wedding, 729. This 29 is the perfect combination of these middle two. It's the White Wedding. It's the joining of these two numbers in the center of the table. But it's the joining of them in a perfect combination, okay? Because individually, 11 reduces to 2, 18 reduces to 9, and you add them both together and they add up to 29. Okay, so this is what's special about 29 and this. Anyway, I got sidetracked there. And 47, obviously. This is the completion this year. Well, I say it's the completion. This was the beginning of the cycle, if you like, and Trump's birthday was the completion. But this is again, 47 is to do with independence. Okay, being free. I've got some other stuff in here which we'll go through in a minute. Yeah, you see the for Madonna here with the 12 127 right here, and the 17 minutes past 12 arrest time or whatever it was. Again, that's kind of interesting, semi-interesting. What else was interesting in here? Well, there was the Sag Harbor, right? With the 89. As soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's definitely something. We've got the Queen's death date here, and then we've got the 44 in there as well, which I was like, ooh, this is kind of interesting. So we've got the kill number and the Queen's death in there. And then I've got some other stuff down the bottom here, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second, so we don't need that right now. Anyway, so that's what we got going on with Justin Timberlake. I'm going to leave it there for that part of the decode. Okay, so that whole thing, I believe, may be a ritual Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah, he was one of the in the Mickey Mouse Club. Yeah, with Britney and whatever the other ones, Christina, whatever her name was. Anyway, let's leave that there for a minute, and let's now. What I wanted to do was I wanted to mention something else that occurred while I was looking for this, and actually I kind of occurred because I was trying to follow up on a reference that Journeyman had given me, and I stumbled across this, and I don't know if this is actually what he was getting at or whether I just stumbled across something completely different. I can't even remember what really I just saw this and I clicked on it. First thing that I clicked on, and what it is, if you go to Billy Idol's channel, you'll see that there's a little cartoon, and it's Love Don't Live Here Anymore, okay, Beyond the Bus. And you can just watch the little cartoon. It's kind of loaded, but the gist of the story is that, without me playing any of it really, Billy Idol was going to cover Rose Royce and the song Love Don't Live Here Anymore, right? He was going to cover it. Turns out that Madonna, hang on a minute,
is doing a version of Love.
Hang on a minute, let's see if we can do it.
Into the studio and said, "Hey guys, guess what? Madonna is doing a version of Love Don't Live Here Anymore."
Okay, I don't know if I played too much of that then, but Madonna's doing a version of Love Don't Live Here Anymore, right? And listen to this.
Nothing sobers you up like having Madonna steal one of your babies.
So yeah,
having Madonna steal one of your babies. Kind of interesting. Anyway, so he was going to do this song. Anyway, what has happened since then? Obviously, he just did the. I think he's been touring, and he did the Hoover Dam thing, right? And he re-released. He did a 40th anniversary release of. I've got it up here. Of, I don't know, expanded release date of Rebel Yell, the 40th anniversary, right? Which is kind of interesting because the release date was 4/26, April the 26th, which you could read that backwards and say 6/24. That's when Madonna went into ICU, which is interesting. And again, that connects back with Champlain Towers and that whole thing with what looks like water coming through those towers as they collapse. And it also ties back with the idea of the rebirth of man. If Madonna was to die on, say, 6/22, this would be 3 days later. Okay, so we've got this kind of ritual of the 3-day, Easter thing going on, right? Because we're looking at 6/24, right? So 22, 23, and 24. 3 days inclusive. So that was kind of interesting. And another interesting thing was, I think that's the 117th day of the year, which ties back in with her celebration tour announcement thing. Okay. So anyway, with the numerology there. Anyway, he's going to do this. Anyway, the Rolls Royce thing. I'm going to get onto the Rolls Royce thing, which connects because they both picked out this song by Rose Royce, right? And obviously, Rose Royce and Rolls Royce, there's a connection there, right? And the Love Don't Live Here Anymore, right? So, I mean, we can go through some of the numbers. Let's have a quick look. Like on Madonna's one, 319 for the release date. That's a direct tie to a dollar bill. Like one of those old dollar bills. I've shown you the decode on that thing before. I think you can connect that to Easter this year as well. I haven't done a decode on it. I looked at it a while back, but I'm sure it connected somehow to Easter this year. But needless to say, that is the dollar bill with the kind of owl that will flip round and is a serpent the other way around, if you know what I mean. But yeah, 319. That's a super duper important dollar bill reference. And look at the length of this. 454. That ship that just came in from Russia, wasn't it? 454. Madonna's ship just come in. 454. And we had all that reference to. I thought it was kind of interesting with the reference back to. Havana and Copacabana and Havana in the song as well. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Just the little tiebacks now are just mental. Anyway, this is just probably sounding like real random waffle for somebody just tuning in. If we look at the original song, okay, its release date is November the 11th. So we have 11/11. Again, Hoover Dam symbolism with the 11/11, the two inlet towers at the Hoover Dam, right? So that was kind of interesting. And then, do I have Billy Idol? I think it's just released on the album. I don't know if he released it separate or not. Okay, well, anyway, what I want to tie in though is Rebel Yell, because Rebel Yell, they've, it's kind of like they've used the name again, right? The anniversary, yeah. So again, 112. This ties in with the Super Bowl Madonna connection this year with iPet Go, right? With the 11th of February. And look at the 2-9 here. Just talking about the 2-9 there in the gematria. And 2-9. Did I talk about 2-9? I don't know if I did talk about it. But the 2-9, the 92 right here, and then the tie back to, this right here, 29, which is the perfect combination of 11 and 18. I can't remember what I've said now because I've tried to do this video a couple of times. Anyway, what else do I want to mention here? So that, where's the other Rebel Yell thing here? Let me show you the other date for Rebel Yell for the album. 10th of November. Anybody that watches my dollar bill decodes knows that the 10th of November is actually one of the numbers that is actually in the dollar bill as well. It's a huge number, and obviously it's because it's the eve before 11/11. But of course this is a pi reference as well. I mean, I just, I could talk about this for hours actually, this whole thing. But let's get to the end here, because you'll know that in Back to the Future, the Rolls Royce is the thing that causes Marty's accident. The Rolls Royce is the thing in Who's That Girl that gets destroyed. Okay, right? It's destroyed at the end of it. This thing falls apart. This Rolls Royce falls apart. Notice this clip that I've picked out for you is the tie back to Back to the Future. This is the train here. This is the locomotive that destroys the DeLorean. Okay, they're going to have a narrow escape here. But at the end of the film, this car is absolutely vandalized and it just falls apart. It's abused. Okay, and this is the temple. This is, this is the reference, right? Let me show you a picture of the front so you can get the idea. This is the temple, yeah? If we were to draw it, this is the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. This is the clock tower in Back to the Future, yeah? With you put one column here, another column here, another column here, and another column here. The 11/11 on both sides, and then the middle doorway, which is that's the fifth element. That's the negative space where the sort of the fifth column would be. That's the Holy Spirit, right? The doorway into this thing. So this is the temple. Notice the winged angel. Yeah, notice that the Hoover Dam has the winged angels, 2 of them. Okay, like the Ark of the Covenant, except the wings are pointing straight up. They're open. They're not joining the 2 sides of reality together at that point. Okay, anyway, this is the Rolls Royce to Rolls Royce reference, 1818, right? And yeah, that's it really. This is why I think that song has been picked. You can actually go to the album art for that, for the album that's off of, and it's actually pretty interesting. I might do a video on that sometime as well, but I don't have it up. I probably could get to it actually. Where is it? I'll show you that as well, because that's kind of interesting as well. With the, remember, the top of the clock tower, the top of this thing forms the triangle, the pyramid, right? And so, wait a minute. Let's see. Does it? Strikes Again. That was what was interesting about the album. Strikes Again, and of course, you know, this is pretty interesting stuff. You know, with the whole, well, with everything we've been looking at with the symbolism. Yeah. Okay, so I think maybe I've done everything there. I've probably forgotten a few bits and bobs out of that. But the dates are just insane. You know, the tie-ins with the 11/11, the 10/11, her stuff. Yeah, I don't know. The 4 minutes. I've covered everything. I'm going to leave it there. It's definitely been an interesting rabbit hole, this one, I have to say. And there's some nice little tie-ins with it actually. Some loose ends tied up with this one. Anyway, I'm leaving it there. I'll catch you on another video soon. God knows what I've left out of there, but anyway, don't matter for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.